look at Quicken Loans Arena on a 71-degree rainy day in Cleveland. Although this series is far from over, the feeling going in was this would be a coronation for LeBron James. Just another step on the way to the finals. But despite LeBron's extraordinary play, the series has not moved in that direction. For Superman Dwight Howard, it's been a different story, capped off by his domination in overtime in Game 4 in Orlando. The Magic extended to a 3-1 lead. Cleveland fans well aware the season is on the line for the Cavaliers, a team that had the best regular season record, a team with the league's most valuable player. It is on to Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Reggie Miller, who is sitting in for Doug Collins. Doug headed back to his home in Phoenix to be with his wife, Kathy. Kathy taken to the hospital due to a rapid heartbeat, and we're told she's resting comfortably in the hospital. Will undergo further tests, and we wish Kathy and Doug the very best. Meanwhile, we call on the right-hander from the pen, and we'll be joined a little bit later on by Craig Sager. Let's check out the McDonald's starting lineups for the Magic. Up front, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis. Hedo, 8 assists in Game 4. Rashard with another huge shot in the final seconds of regulation. At the guards, Courtney Lee, Rafer Alston. Alston coming off a huge game. Here are the Cavs. LeBron James averaging 42 points a game in this series. Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas in the backcourt, Delonte West and Mo Williams. The Cavs are still looking for a breakout game from Mo, who was active in Game 4, but shot just 5 of 15 from the field. Now, Reggie, what do you see as the keys to Game 5?
Well, it's inside versus outside. For the Cavs, 50 points in the paint in Game 4. They were a plus 14. And for the Magic, 17 of 38 from long distance in Game 4. A franchise playoff record in attempts and makes. The X Factors, Rafer Alston, career high 26 points, 6 of 12 from long distance. And Michael Pietrus, what has he done? Outscored the Cavs bench by himself, 56-41. And the two stars, Dwight Howard, LeBron James. Dwight, 27 points, almost 19 paints in the point. And LeBron, what else can he do? He's responsible for 42% of the Cavs scoring throughout the series. And it's win or stay home for the Cavs. Focus on Game 5. All your energy has to be tonight. And for the Magic, don't assume you can wrap it up in Game 6. Continue to put the pressure on the Cavs.
And the Magic looking to win a closeout game on the road. For the third time this postseason, they did it in Philadelphia. They did it in Boston. The officiating crew, Dan Crawford, Mark Davis, Bill Spooner, the alternate, Tony Brothers, and the Cavaliers control the opening tip. The Cavs, a team on the brink, trying to come back from a 3-1 deficit. Only 8 teams in the history of the NBA have done that. Here's Delonte West with the fade. The Phoenix Suns, the last team to pull it off, coming back from 3-1. They did it against the Lakers' first round of the 2006 playoffs. It can be done, but the Cavs, Reggie, looking to do it against a Magic team that has been a very difficult matchup, position by position. Alston for 3, he hit 6 from downtown the other night.
Well, Rafer continuing that hot streak from long distance. If they're going to continue to give him that long distance looks, he's got to be aggressive in looking at it.
West played by Lee. Varejao, nice pass from Delonte West.
Well, so far, Mike Brown adjustments trying to put Delonte West down low to post up.
Williams opening up on Alston. It comes up short to save, but he stepped out of bounds, so the Cavaliers get it back. And LeBron James will start out on Courtney Lee, but he will look to roam, and we have seen that throughout the series, although things have not worked at the defensive end for the Cavaliers.
Well, LeBron James roamed against Rafer Alston in Game 4 and kind of got burned as Mo Williams off the dribble. So that's an encouraging sign for Mike Brown. Your two guards, Delonte West, as well as Mo Williams, offensively looking to be aggressive.
West opening up on the Turkoglu. Lewis guarded by Varejao, that are pushing and shoving between the two. Here's Lewis shooting over West. Rebounded by Ilgauskas.
Lewis has gotten off the slow starts in the first quarter in this series.
Williams for three. Mo Williams knocks it down. Rafer Alston lost his balance and fell down, so Mo had an open look. It's a 9-3 advantage for the Cavs. Alston is off. Cleveland has opened up by hitting its first 4 shots. Williams was looking for the pick. Ball poked away from James. LeBron had 8 turnovers the other night in the loss in Orlando. Here's Lewis, very active at the start. He's opened slowly in every game. That counts in the foul. Dwight Howard with the rebound, and he'll head to the line.
Well, second shot opportunities for Dwight Howard here. A nice off-the-dribble move by Rashard Lewis. Verjao does a good job of recovering, contesting the shot, but you've got to keep Dwight off the board. And if anything, wrap him up and send him to the free throw line. Though he is shooting 71% in this particular series, but you want to take your chances with him at the line.
7 of 9 at the line. The other night, the foul is on Delonte West. And the 7 of 9 includes 2 free throws with 21 seconds left in the overtime. Alston defending on Williams. And a foul, a trip called on Courtney Lee.
Orlando foul on number 11, Courtney Lee. His team's first foul.
The Orlando Magic just 1 win away from representing the East in the NBA Finals. The Cavs looking to keep this series alive. And the Magic hoping to get back to the Finals for the first time since back in 1995. If Cleveland wins, it is back to Orlando for a Game 6 Saturday night. Here's Williams again from downtown.
Well, back-to-back threes for Mo Williams. 10 of the 12 points for the Cavaliers coming from their backcourt.
And that is something we have not seen to this point in the series. Here's Howard. Strip. LeBron James knocked it away. Williams on the run. He beat Turkoglu, throws it to Verjao. The follow by James. And a foul.
And this is what you want. When you are struggling and you're down 3-1, let your defense do your talking for you. Dwight Howard, too much time keeping the ball down low. Mo Williams does a good job of trying to find Verjao, but who's there to clean it up? LeBron James. And you see the foul there late by Rashard Lewis coming over the top of LeBron James.
LeBron played 49 minutes in Game 4 Tuesday in Orlando. 13 of 29. He had 4 threes. He had 44 points. Having an amazing series. He's had 3 40-point-plus games, averaging 42 points in the 4 games, and he's played 44 minutes a game.
Well, it really hasn't been the first quarter that's been the Cavs' problem. They've been a plus 25 throughout the 4 games against the Magic. It's the rest, but tonight, nice energy and balance from the Cavaliers.
Back at the queue in Cleveland, time for Gatorade Around the Cooler. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, LeBron James is unquestionably the leader of the Cavs, not only on the court, but also the voice in the locker room. He addressed the team before taking the court tonight. He had a sense of history. He said, listen, guys, 8 teams have come back from that 3-1 deficit to win a series. Let's be the 9th. He also talked about last night's game, a reference to Kobe Bryant, the Lakers' victory over Denver. He said, guys, if I can take a back seat at the start of the game from a scoring standpoint, the game will be a lot easier for me and for the team. He mentioned Derek Fisher having 7 quick points. He said, Mo Williams, I want you to be aggressive from the start. I'll get you the ball. He said, let's go out, take it to him early. I'm not interested in scoring 40 points. That hasn't worked. Mark?
And that is exactly what has taken place here to this point. You said Dwight Howard called for the travel. Cavaliers have hit 6 of their first 7. Mo Williams 3 for 3 from the field. LeBron with just that 1 shot. He was fouled on the play, a 3-point attempt. West trying to get it on the lob to LeBron. Here comes Turkoglu. Ball slapped away, knocked out of bounds.
Well, I like what LeBron says, but also on the other hand, your teammates have to make shots. And when Mo Williams comes out and is 3 of 3 from the field and Delonte West is being aggressive offensively, it helps when you can take a backseat and relax in that first quarter.
James on Lee. Turkoglu played by West. Howard sets the screen. Here's Turkoglu, who has been terrific on the road in game number 4. did not shoot well, but had another big assist game. He had 8 assists. Previously had 14 and 13. That will count. Here's a goaltend on Howard.
Well, this is another slow start for Stan Van Gundy and the Magic. And you look at both games, 1 and 2, getting off the slow starts. Yes, they came back in those games, but you're digging yourself a hole early.
There's an open shot for Alston. He's off on that three-point attempt. Here's LeBron accelerating. He spins. Gets it out to West. Ilgauskas is open. Yes. And that is so significant for the Cavaliers. Looks like on the inbounds, Turkoglu stepped over the line.
Yeah, and that's a silly violation for Hedo Turkoglu and the Magic. It's one of those things that most referees kind of turn a blind eye to right there, but Bill Spooner right on the play making the call. You see right here, just look at the casualness, and he's not even out of bounds as Hedo's trying to get the ball inbounded.
Looks like the phantom tag sometimes at second base, which umpires let go, but as you mentioned, the official Bill Spooner was right there. Here's Williams firing one. Oh, he forced it over Alston. He is on fire. Mo Williams, 4 for 4, 11 points, and already that is his 3rd from downtown. Turkoglu lost the dribble, able to recover. Here's Turkoglu, got the step, blew the layup, and a foul. Dwight Howard attempting the tip, and a foul called on Williams, his first.
Well, you see Mo Williams goes away from the screen and roll from Ilgauskas, and Rafer Alston just kind of turns his head, and 3 of 3 for Mo Williams from beyond the arc, 11 points.
So Hedo Turkoglu at the line. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. Game 6 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. And the Lakers taking that 3-2 lead last night. How about Lamar Odom playing through a lower back bruise, 19 points, 14 rebounds. Now, if the Cavaliers win tonight, Saturday here on TNT, we'll have game 6 of the Cavs and the Magic starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Turkoglu missing on both. And if necessary, Sunday on ABC, it'll be game 7 of the Nuggets and the Lakers. And the foul is called on Orlando. Turkoglu picking up his first. It's been all Cleveland here at the start. 5 minutes in, they have a 22-8 lead. They've hit 9 of 10 from the field, 7 assists on the 9 field goals. And you see the LeBron James resume over the first 4 games, but as Craig mentioned earlier, he's going to kind of play it very, very different at the start, and that's exactly what we have seen to this point.
Well, Mike Brown could not have scripted this start for the Cavaliers any better than this. You've got 2 struggling players in Delonte West and Mo Williams going early. You got LeBron James, who has carried this team through 4 games, now starting to get himself inserted into the offense, and you have a 16-point advantage.
Lewis saw the opening, missed on the reverse, and recovered by Ilgauskas. Orlando getting back quickly. James met by Turkoglu and Howard as they double up. Shot clock to 5. James, yes.
Everything clicking here for LeBron James and the Cavaliers, and I like the offense and the movement. A simple flex cut, bringing LeBron James off the baseline. Shot clock running down, knocks down the shot.
Cleveland is 10 for their first 11. Is Howard. Good job by Ilgauskas, but then committed the foul, and they're having words. This started a brew 3 games back. Continued in game 4.
And you got to remember when Dwight Howard in game 4, and right now you see Dwight Howard trying to go up against Anderson Varejao and Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and that easily could be a technical on Zydrunas walking up on Dwight Howard, grabbing him by the arm, but that technical rescinded. when he looked over Anderson Varejao after he got that three-point play going.
That would have been technical number 6 in the playoffs. 7 technicals means a automatic 1-game suspension. No technical called on Ilgauskas, just a personal foul. So Howard back to the line with his previous free throw, completing a 3-point play. And as we mentioned, done well at the foul line recently. Talking about that play. See Dwight Howard getting involved, and then it was rescinded by the NBA. The next day, a technical foul was called at the time.
And you've got to allow the players to be able to show a little bit of motion, especially after that nice baseline move by Dwight Howard. He's walking away when he's showing the emotion. So nice as Dwight Howard misses 2 free throws. You got to let the players be able to show a little bit of emotion.
The Magic 1 of 5 at the line. Ball is deflected. Varejao is on it. James able to track it down. Being played here now. Peters has just checked it. Here's Varejao. And rebounded by Howard. Back it goes to Lewis, who backs his way on West. Rashard Lewis with his second field goal.
And that's a tough matchup, especially for Delonte West. He's given up 4 or 5 inches going against Rashard Lewis.
Williams. Well, Mo Williams had hit on his first 4 shots, 3 from downtown. Daniel Gibson getting set to check in, hit a couple of threes the other night. James not allowing Peters the shot. Peters trying to draw the foul. And a defensive 3-second call. Should say an offensive 3-second call as the ball will go back to the Cavaliers.
Yeah, Michael Peters thought he was going to get LeBron James up in the air. And as he kept pump faking, Dwight Howard kept camping out in the lane.
So Gibson comes on for Ilgauskas, and Mike Brown going small. He has a 3-guard set. Williams, West, and Gibson, along with Varejao and James.
Well, that's something that we talked with Mike Brown before the game, is when was he going to go small to somewhat match up with the European version of the Magic because of the 3-point shooting, and Daniel Gibson getting the first nod off the bench.
Here's West. Delonte West, who had a strong game in Orlando, game 4. Battle between Varejao and Howard. Alston with a deep 3. Rebound comes to James. So LeBron directing traffic. That's the pick from Varejao. And on a pick and roll, that was broken up, deflected out of bounds.
Well, you know, even though they are getting stops, it's that type of play right there in transition when they go to that high pick and roll that got the Cavaliers in so much problems. They get kind of stagnant. They need to get more ball movement.
There's Mo Williams. Varejao able to hustle it down. Gibson is guarded by Rashard Lewis. Kukas face guarding James, who is able to hit. 30-10, Cleveland. LeBron is 3 of 3 here at the start. He has 9 points. The outside official, Mark Davis, calls it away from the ball. It is on Varejao. That's his second.
Peters has played LeBron James pretty well. Even though you see the scoring average of 42 by LeBron James, you're going to have to crowd him a little bit more, especially if he's raising up and knocking down shots like that. LeBron James 3 of 3 from the field. Go along with 3 rebounds and 3 assists.
Anderson Varejao will sit down. Mo Williams hears it from the crowd as Ben Wallace checks in along with Wally Serbiak. Ben Wallace, solid 16 minutes in game 4. Serbiak defending. On the backpedaling, Lewis shoots over it. Rebound is hauled down by Wallace. There's James putting a move on Petrus, called for the block. It's the 14th foul on the Magic, first on Petrus.
And it's so tough when you're the defender, when you've got a player like LeBron James coming at you like that. You know, sometimes, a lot of times you want to guess which way he's going to go, but when he's that gifted at going left or right, it makes it very difficult.
Courtney Lee is back for Hedo Turkoglu. Stan Van Gundy with Lee and Alston at the guards. Howard, Lewis, and Petrus up front. A good pick from Wallace. West with the jumper. Yes. Delonte West has hit his first 3 shots. Make it 32-10 Cavaliers.
How about the backcourt of the Cavs? 7 of 9 from the field, 17 points of the 32 for the Cavs.
Meanwhile, the Magic just 4 for 15 shooting. Coming up on 2.5 to play in this first quarter. It is Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a travel on West, try to get it to Gibson. And a timeout is taken by the Cavaliers.
Delonte West along with Mo Williams. Everyone talking about where's the backcourt shooting for the Cavs. Right here, Delonte West. Wide open jump shot. Cavs up big.
We got to get into it right now. We're not ready for their intensity and their quickness. We want it to be easy, and it's not gonna be. And you can't keep playing out of big holes. You got to get on it right now.
And a closeout game is never easy, and what Stan Van Gundy is talking about, it's the little things. Points in the paint. Right now, the Cavaliers have a 10-2 advantage. That's a +8. In fast break points, 8-0 advantage for the Cavaliers. So you have to do the little things, especially when you have a team that you're ready to close out on the road. You've got to come out with a higher sense of intensity.
And as you can see, the Cavaliers have actually done well 3 of the 4 games in the first quarter. Third quarter has been the big problem, but the Stan Van Gundy telling us earlier that you're only going to climb out of holes every so often. You're not going to come back from 16 down and 23 down on a regular basis. That's the case in games 1 and 2. In game 2, they lost the game on that epic last-second 3 by LeBron James. Foul is on Gibson. Anthony Johnson has come on for the first time. So Johnson to the backcourt now with Lee. Petrus up front with Howard and Lewis. Cleveland going over the foul limit, so Johnson will shoot 2.
And it's not like the Magic have not been in this hole in deficit before in games 1 and 2. Got down big early, but they chipped their way back, and that takes a lot out of you when you're trying to get back when you're down double deficits in the first quarter. But this is a team with a lot of firepower, and they can strike big with their 3-point shooting.
17 threes in game 4 in Orlando on Tuesday night. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, we see Wally Serbiak on the court tonight. He did not play in games 2 and 3, had 21 minutes in game 4, but his left knee was stiff when he came back on the plane from Orlando. Actually had an MRI yesterday that proved to be negative. He said, listen, I'm okay. It's not going to hurt me to play. I'm taking the sleeve off my knee. And he told Coach Brown, I'm ready to go.
Well, Wally in game 4, 20 minutes, 1 of 4 from the field, sat out games 2 and 3, and appears to be having some difficulty with mobility, but they like to have him on the floor for this. Yes! From downtown, now they change it. They say a 2-pointer. He had a foot on the line.
And see what happens when LeBron James catches it mid-post. you're going to have to be able to double because he's one step from the basket as Ruby Gibson picks up his second foul against Rashard Lewis. Simple basketball. Get LeBron James mid-post. You have to double. Wide open shot for a shooter.
Gibson called for his second foul. Stan Van Gundy also telling us earlier, he says, you know, I've seen series more lopsided than this one turned around in a hurry. This series could be 2-2, could be 3-1 in favor of Cleveland. Incidentally, Stan and his wife Kim celebrating their 21st wedding anniversary today. Not together. Kim is back home in Orlando, and as Doug Collins, who was at our meeting earlier, was saying to Stan, he said Kim told him that really feels like 42 years, not 21. And Stan and Kim do have 4 children, 3 daughters and a son.
This isn't a very good anniversary gift right now, being down 21 points.
34-13 Cavaliers. Wallace thought he was fouled as James tried the lob. Howard is double teamed. Wallace ties him up. As the series has progressed, and Ben Wallace plays 14, 15 minutes a game these days, he has done a better and better job against Dwight Howard.
Well, you got to remember, he's one of the reigning defensive players of the years, and is he undersized at the center position? Yes, but he can get up under Dwight Howard and kind of make things a little bit difficult.
And for Ben, it has been an injury-hit season. Tip controlled by the Magic. Howard again facing a double, gets it out to Petrus for 3. Michael Petrus, who has had a sensational postseason. Coming back from his injury-hit campaign, this 28 games, sidelined by that fractured right wrist, and James took a shot, fouled by Petrus.
Dwight Howard at the other end makes a move. Zerbiak comes down, and Petrus with the wide. He even had a Courtney Lee in the corner if he wanted to pass it one more time. But when you're shooting like he has been all series, nice lace down.
So the Magic over the foul limit. LeBron James 3 of 3 at the line. And here is Sasha Pavlovich coming on for Daniel Gibson. Sasha, a valuable guy off the bench back in game 2 here in Cleveland. 9 points, couple of assists in 22 minutes, but game 3 had no impact in his 25 minutes on the floor, and game 4 a DNP.
Well, the minutes have definitely fluctuated on Mike Brown's bench, and whether it's Daniel Gibson or Sasha Pavlovich or Wally Zerbiak, these guys just have to stay ready.
Zerbiak contending with Lewis. Lewis on the spin. Good job by Zerbiak. Forced him off the spot. There's West looking for a screen. Finding Wallace, who tried to stuff. Nice move by Johnson. Anthony Johnson cutting to the rim. And now the Cavaliers can hold for a final shot. 20 seconds left in this first quarter. It's a 35-18 Cleveland lead. As LeBron works it down, 10 seconds left. They're on their feet here at the Q. Down to 3, down to 2. James. So that's the end of the first quarter. The Cavaliers 14 of 21 from the field, 67%. While the Magic just 6 of 18. When we come back, Craig Sager will talk with Magic head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Welcome back to Cleveland, where the Cavs have jumped off to a quick start in the first quarter, leading 35-18, limiting Stan Van Gundy. Coach, what does bother you more, the fact that they have 35 points or that you're only putting up 18?
Well, it all goes hand in hand because they're scoring every time. We're getting nothing in transition. We're facing their set defense. They're just much quicker than we are at both ends. Their rotations are better. Their ball movement, they're going right by us at both ends.
Your team has come back from deficits all season, but does it have to start here in the second quarter?
Well, yeah, it does. And that was the worst we've played, even compared to the first 2 games.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to Marvin Ridgey.
And Stan Van Gundy referring to the opening games here in Cleveland. As we discussed earlier, the Magic 16 down, came back, 1 by 1 on that three-point shot by Rashard Lewis. Game 2 last Friday night. Magic came from 23 down, but lost it on the buzzer beater from downtown by LeBron James. Second quarter underway. Here's Howard. The ball knocked out of his hands. And knocked out of bounds. Good play by James helping out. 8 on the shot clock for the Magic. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller for Doug Collins, Craig Sager. We are at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland as the Cavaliers try to stay alive and extend to a 6th game back in Orlando on Saturday night. And right here on TNT. Pre-game show at 8. Tip-off about 8:30. Johnson just did get it away. Oh, look out. Serbiak gets involved with Howard. Did he take a swing on him?
No, he just pushed him from behind, and it's definitely a technical foul on Serbiak, and I think they're calling a foul on Dwight Howard over the top right there. You see the push off to Ben Wallace's back. The foul is on Dwight Howard, and there's Serbiak picking up the technical foul with a push in the back.
First team foul this quarter. Technical foul.
So it is a technical, as you mentioned, on Serbiak, and a personal foul on Howard as Courtney Lee will shoot the tee. Rare to see Wally Serbiak get worked up and get himself in that kind of situation.
Well, I'll let you know the landscape of this series. Desperation means desperation times right now. When you're down 3-1 and your bench has been struggling all series, someone's going to have to step up. And right now, Wally's trying to be that guy.
And the Cavaliers would not mind seeing Dwight Howard pick up his 6th technical of the postseason, but has not gone in that direction to this point.
Well, there's a lot of baiting going on out here.
Off the fake, James to the left hand, and it's batted out. Last touch by Wallace.
Well, so for the start of this second quarter, I like the Magic's defense so far. Allowing only 1 possession, getting into shooters, and then executing at the offensive end.
Lee played by Williams. Turkoglu guarded by West. Here's Turkoglu. And got the bounce. Hedo with his 2nd field goal. And the lead is down to 14. Cavs have led by as many as 22. Pass to the post for James. Had to chase it down. Was pushed by Petrus. And that is 3. A quick 3 on Michael Petrus.
Now, what is Stan Van Gundy going to have to do? Because Michael Petrus, who has guarded LeBron James as well as you can in this series, picks up his 3rd foul as Rashard Lewis checks in for Petrus.
So Lewis is back. Gibson returns for the Cavaliers. It's a 9-1 run for Orlando. Williams came off the pick. Shot clock down to 7. Shot clock to 3. And James shoots for 3. Rebounded by Lewis. So the Cavalier lead evaporating here in the early moments of the second quarter. Here's the double on Howard. Lewis with the runner. And Mike Brown may call for a timeout right here. Yes, he does. Takes the early timeout with the Cavalier lead cut to 12.
Well, it's all been about the defensive intensity to start of this second quarter. And right here, the double team comes. Rashard Lewis off the dribble with the runner.
24.
Well, finally, the Magic's offense is starting to come alive right here. You see the double down on Dwight Howard, and Rashard Lewis not relying on that three-point line right there, taking the ball off the dribble. Another slow start for Rashard. 2 of 7 from the field. He does have 5 rebounds and 5 points, but they're going to need his contribution to get back into this ball game down by 12.
But the Magic working their way back. They were trailing by 22, 34-12, with just under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Since then, over the last 4 minutes, they've outscored the Cavs 11-1. Here's Gibson getting the step on Lewis, and he's rejected. Anthony Johnson has come on and settled things down. Gets it down low. Here's Howard. Yes, and the foul.
You're going to have to grab Dwight Howard and make him go to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws. Right there, Ben Wallace doesn't do a great job of wrapping up Dwight Howard. And you see the entry pass, perfect by Anthony Johnson. Wrong side of Ben Wallace. And that's a nice move by Dwight Howard. Using the left hand, you run the floor down the middle, you make your space right there. You've got to grab Dwight Howard.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Anderson Varejao check back in for Ben Wallace and Daniel Gibson. Howard is 1 of 3 at the line. 3-point play for Howard, and the lead is down to 10.
Magic have already shot 11 free throws in this game.
Correction, lead down to 9. Here's James, and he is fouled. It's on Howard. That's his second.
His second personal, 3rd team foul.
This is that straight line drive that LeBron's been getting all series, and you just drive to the chest of the big man, Dwight Howard. Put the onus on the officials to make the call.
James 4 of 5 at the line. And the 44-point game in Orlando Tuesday night. Previously 11 of 28. But spent much time at the line. 24 free throws. And had his problem shooting from beyond the paint. And you see the breakdown games 3 and 4 in terms of the location of the shots. Mid-range 1 of 7, 1 of 6.
And if you look at that graphic, that just tells me LeBron James needs to be in attack mode most of this game. Struggling with his mid-range and 3-point shot. Attack the basket. He's going to get the foul and get the calls.
Watching Gortat has come on for Dwight Howard. Here's Gortat on a reverse, and he's fouled. As we have been discussing throughout the series, James on the foul is first. Gortat has done a superb job in coming on for Dwight Howard. A programming reminder, TNT this June, Jada Pinkett Smith as the chief nurse, Christina Hawthorne. Don't miss the new series premiere of Hawthorne. That's June 16th, 9 o'clock. Only on TNT. Let's check in with Craig.
Well, there's been a programming change as far as the pregame ritual with Stan Van Gundy and his assistant Lee Clifford, where they put their game plan together on the board every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They watched Law and Order as they put it on the board, but they tuned in this week. Law and Order wasn't there. It was Charmed. The programmers from TNT have moved Law and Order now to 5 o'clock Eastern.
As Steve upset as James is able to hit the floater. He's upset that the NBA telecasting schedule has messed things up for his TV viewing. There's Lee from beyond that 3-point line. Rebound handled by Varejao. Williams with the step. Rejected. Lewis coming from behind. The hustle by Varejao. Trying to keep it alive, but Lee cut it off. Here's Lee. Trying to stuff. Cut off from the elbow by Ilgauskas and a foul.
And if you're Courtney Lee, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You try to go in there for a lay, and they're probably not going to give you that call. Nice save here by the Magic and Courtney Lee. Varejao trying to save the ball, does the right thing, but Courtney Lee picks up the ball, and you try to go in there and finish. Varejao has to foul him, and you get to the free throw line.
Courtney Lee shoots 2 shots.
Courtney Lee, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, first-round draft pick. Played 4 years at Western Kentucky. averaging 17 points a game, and emerged as a starter, playing with that protective mask after he inadvertently took the elbow from his teammate. Dwight Howard was out several games during the playoffs with a sinus fracture. LeBron James going to the bench. So rest time for LeBron. Let's see how the Cavs make out as he sits out for a while. There's Johnson with a short pop.
Let's see how much confidence Mike Brown has in his reserves. LeBron James playing the whole second half in overtime in game 4, 49 minutes in total.
Cavaliers have led by as many as 22. Varejao stripped. Here's the lead for Lewis ahead of the field, and he's fouled. Williams trying to slap it away, made contact. So the lead is down to 9, and Lewis is at the line.
Lewis is doing a good job with his hands coming up the steal, and Avery Johnson looking over the top, finding Lewis, going in for the lay, and you see the little slap on the head by Mo Williams, sending Rashard Lewis to the line.
Lewis 17 points, including 2 threes, game 4 Tuesday night in Orlando, including that three-pointer with 4 seconds left in regulation. We've been talking about the comebacks by the Magic, and they're not doing it in this instance with three-point shots. But they are now within 8. Games 1 and 2, they made those dramatic comebacks and came away with a split here in Cleveland. It could have easily been a 2-0 lead for the Magic. Mark Davis working the baseline, calls it on Lewis. So that is his second. And both teams now 14 fouls.
Magic 9 of 17 from the free throw line, only 53%.
Now Tony Battie will come on, replacing Lewis. Lewis leads with 6 points, 5 rebounds. So Stan Van Gundy with Lewis and Howard on the bench. He has Gortat out there with Battie and Turkoglu up front. Lee and Johnson at the guards. West using the pick. Set the hot hand. Varejao trying to keep it alive. Could not. Played by Gortat. Here's Johnson with the runner. Ilgauskas not able to control. It's kept alive. Lee, hard drive rejected by Ilgauskas. And West was fouled. Basket counts. He got the call on the continuation.
Well, he didn't put the ball back down, Delonte West, and that's a nice presence of mind to get the ball up on the glass to see if you can get the finish. There's the foul with the little bump by Anthony Johnson. You got to remember, Delonte West is left-handed, going to his left with a nice finish.
It's been an outstanding first half for Delonte West. Looking for his 9th point. West completing the three-point play, and the Cavaliers with a 42-31 advantage.
Valuable time, Mike Brown with LeBron James on the bench resting.
There's Turkoglu. Turkoglu's hit 3 of 4. And as we mentioned earlier, he has been a better player on the road than at home. With West, a running left-hander off the mark. Turkoglu. Lee. Good job by Gibson getting back on Turkoglu. The shot by Battie. Rebounded by Gortat. Kept alive. They get the new clock. We're coming up on the halfway point of the second quarter. The Cavaliers up by 9 after leading by as many as 22. Turkoglu lost it. Ilgauskas with a good play. Here comes Gibson and Williams. And Williams scores! Meanwhile, Stan Van Gundy out on the court. It looks like Turkoglu was hit. Or was it Van Gundy with a technical?
Yeah, Stan Van Gundy was upset that there was a no call on Turkoglu when he spit into the lane right there. And Danny Crawford didn't even allow that break to get going, called an instant technical on head coach Stan Van Gundy.
So the bucket does not count, but Mo Williams will shoot the technical.
Here's the play that got Stan Van Gundy out of his seat right here. Up and under right there, and that's pretty good defense there by Delonte West. And Stan Van Gundy's out on the floor challenging Danny Crawford, talking about where is the foul.
And the discussion continues. LeBron James checks back in, as does Dwight Howard.
And this 10-point lead is nothing with the firepower and the three-point shot and shooting of the Magic. They just got to step up their defense now that LeBron James is back on the floor for the Cavs.
To this point, Orlando just 2 of 8 from beyond that three-point line. Just under 6 left in the first half. Gibson lost it.
Where's Mo Williams? He had that great first quarter with those 11 quick points.
Petit with the shot. And a foul is called as Howard took the hit. Foul on Varejao. That is his third. So when we come back, Dwight Howard will head to the line. Cavaliers have led by as many as 22. Up by 10. Will return to Cleveland, Ohio after this. Well, game 5 here in Cleveland, bringing out some familiar faces. We check the courtside seats. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Cleveland Browns quarterback Brady Quinn. The Yankees in town. They'll face the Indians in a weekend series. Off today, Mariano Rivera.
Greatest closer ever.
Yep. And former Indian and now Yankee CC Sabathia. A-Rod is in the building. Alex Rodriguez. Along with Jay-Z, close friend of LeBron James. Let's go to Craig.
Thank you, Mark. With me, CC Sabathia, former Cy Young winner with the Indians. I know you're a big Cleveland Cavs fan, LeBron fan. Are you shocked or surprised, if so, that they're down 3-1 in the series?
I am shocked. You know, the way they've been rolling this playoffs, you know, it was hard to predict that they would be down 3-1, but, you know, you can never count them out. You got the best player in the game on the team, so we'll see what happens.
When you won the Cy Young, you had a 3-1 lead against the Boston Red Sox, but couldn't close them out. You know what it means to the city, how much pressure you think's on the Cavs, and what would a championship mean after not having won since the '64 Browns?
You know what, I think it'd be huge for this city. You know, this city is starting for a champion. You know, we came close a couple times, couldn't get it done, but you know, it looks like they got the right cast to get it done. You know, they just got to, you know, overcome this small little mountain.
All right, thank you very much. CC will be pitching Saturday against the Indians. The game Sunday will be on TBS, Marv.
All right, Craig, and CC, as you mentioned, a close friend of LeBron James, and sent LeBron a text saying that he might wear an Orlando Magic hat since James wore a Yankee hat. As Petit on the rebound is able to bank it home. LeBron wore a Yankee hat to a Yankees-Indian division playoff game back in 2007, but apparently he was just kidding. He is hatless at the moment. That will count. Ilgauskas gets credit on the goaltend by Howard.
You just can't give points away if you're the Magic and Dwight Howard. Make Zydrunas Ilgauskas earn his money down low. Petit doing a good job of bodying him. Make him make the shot.
Incidentally, that's a red-hot group of Yankees. They've won 12 of the last 15 coming off the win in Texas last night as Hedo Turkoglu knocks it down from downtown, and it's now down to 6. That 22-point lead has evaporated. Joe Smith has come on for the first time for the Cavaliers. Turkoglu stepping out to try to retrieve it, so the Cavs maintain possession.
Well, this is something Mike Brown has not been able to figure out. What are you going to do on the high pick and roll with Turkoglu? Right there, Delonte West decides to go under, and it's a step back three for Turkoglu.
The Magic outscoring the Cavaliers 27-11 over the last 9 minutes. Shot clock is down to 5. Here's Williams for 3. That's his 4th from downtown.
He was on fire in that first quarter. Now that's his first bucket in this second quarter.
Well, Williams, though, has 15 points in all. Bad pass. Turkoglu trying to get it out to Alston, who just checked back in. Cavaliers try to beat the Magic down court. James on a crossover. Nice feed for Smith.
See, I just like when LeBron James is on the wing, he has so many more options because he can get into the lane and find cutters.
Timeout called by the Magic. And LeBron is doing exactly what he said he would. He's looking for teammates. He also has 14 points along with 5 assists and 4 rebounds. LeBron 4 of 7 from the field. Beautiful pass to Joe Smith.
Either wrap him up or let him dunk it. Tell that to Delonte. I want you to tell my 2 bigs, either wrap him up early or let him dunk it. One of the 2. Do not be afraid to foul. That's why we got other bigs on the bench.
And if you listen to Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith after game 4, they say that was one of the problems in that overtime when Dwight Howard went ballistic with those 10 points by not wrapping up Dwight Howard and sending him to the free throw line. He's 3 of 6 tonight. Yes, he is shooting 71% in this particular series, but 60% during the regular season. And tonight, the Magic only 10 of 19 from the free throw line. Don't allow Dwight Howard to get an easy avenue look at the basket.
And not getting the touches in this first half as a result of that. Attempting only 3 shots. 8 on the 24. Alston for 3. He's been off, rebounded by James. 11-point lead for the Cavaliers. Here's LeBron. Back comes Turkoglu. Single coverage on Howard. Now Williams comes over, and a hand check is called on Ilgauskas.
And that's a good call by Danny Crawford because he easily could have called it as soon as Dwight Howard got the ball down low. You got to be able to bend that arm if you're going to guard him down low. Look, as soon as the ball, look at that right arm, it's extended, and that's a foul right there. And Dwight Howard does a good job of getting into the body of Ilgauskas.
Second on Zadrunas, so Howard to the line. He's 3 of 6 at the line. As you see, during the regular season, 59%. He has picked it up in the postseason. Dwight Howard came back strong following that subpar Game 5 in the series against Boston. You recall he criticized the head coach Stan Van Gundy for the lack of touches, and then in Game 6, 23 points, 22 rebounds, 3 block shots. Although many felt that Dwight should have done that behind closed doors.
Well, especially during the playoffs when everything is scrutinized and you're locked into a series, you definitely don't want to give the opposing team some type of life. And you got to keep that behind closed doors.
All right, here's James from the angle. Rebounded by Lewis. 10-point lead for Cleveland. Howard backing his way. Nice move.
That's a tough left-hand jump hook right there. Most of the time, when we watched him in that Boston series, he wasn't even coming close to making that.
Well, Kendrick Perkins of the Celtics did a very good job defensively on Howard. Ilgauskas uncontested.
And that can't happen. Someone from the weak side has to rotate over.
Here's the lob for Howard. Missed the stuff. Turkoglu for three. Howard rebounds. There's Howard going at Ilgauskas. It counts in the foul. Not a good foul there by Ilgauskas. Not what Mike Brown was asking for. If you're going to foul, you have to wrap up.
And Mike Brown is yelling at Wally Szczerbiak as he's getting ready to come in, talking about tell the bigs to wrap up Dwight Howard and send him to the free throw line. Right there, Dwight Howard just too quick and too fast for Big Z down low.
So Ilgauskas sitting down after picking up his third. Ben Wallace is back. Wally Szczerbiak makes his return. Coming up, the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie Charles and Kenny will have analysis of the first half. Ernie writing down some of his ad-libs.
He's pondering there too. Very nice.
Very pensive. Artificial pondering. 2:18 left in the half.
If you're Mike Brown and these Cavs fans, you had a big 22-point lead early, starting to kind of scratch your head a little bit how this Magic team is continuing to hang around.
Cavaliers were wondering why was that not immediately ruled out of bounds as it hit at the top of the backboard, but it will be Cleveland ball. There's Williams trying to swing away and draws the foul. It is on Alston. That's his first. Both teams over the limit. They have been for some time in this second quarter. So Mo Williams, who is easily having his best game of this series, will head to the line. He has 15 points. He's hit 4 from downtown. Cleveland with the tremendous start. They hit 10 of their first 11 from the field. They doubled up the score. On the Magic went up by as many as 22. Orlando getting back into it. And it is now a 10-point lead. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller for Doug Collins. Craig Sager working the sideline with just under 2 to go in this first half. There's Lee able to spin and with that height advantage hitting over Williams.
That's a tough shot there by Courtney Lee. Double went down on Dwight Howard and he just followed the defender in.
Szczerbiak gets it out to Williams. A Bronx pass picked off. Turkoglu played by Szczerbiak. Went to the crossover. A beautiful move by Hedo Turkoglu.
And Wally Szczerbiak can't guard Hedo Turkoglu or Rashard Lewis. Take him off the dribble.
11 for Turkoglu. 9 have come here in the second quarter. Another turnover by James. Alston to the bucket. And the follow by Howard.
Dwight Howard.
And Mike Brown takes a 20-second timeout. The lead is down to 4.
Get ultimate access to the NBA playoffs on NBA TV and NBA.com. Maximum highlights, instant analysis, and live streaming press conferences.
My range is pretty much unlimited.
Create your own amazing playlist with customized highlights. Enter the Barkley Zone for Charles Unscripted.
Hey, I'm not just a pretty face.
Watch amazing happen throughout the playoffs on NBA TV and NBA.com. The game happens here.
A look at the upcoming schedule presented by Degree for Men. Well, Game 6, if necessary, will take place back at Amway Arena in Orlando on Saturday night. We'll have it for you on TNT if there's a Game 7. It will be back here in Cleveland on Monday night, also to be seen on TNT. Orlando has outscored Cleveland 38-20 since they were down by by 22. Dwight Howard now 14 points, 11 here in the second quarter. Here's James. He is fouled. He was pushed. And Reggie, you look at the way the Magic have come back, and they have not been doing it with three-pointers, and they're doing it against a team that was sensational at the defensive end during the regular season. The Cavs allowing only 91 points a game, led the NBA, allowed only 43% shooting. And once again, the Magic posting, at least to the moment, 50 points in this first half.
I like the body language at the start of the game for the Cavs, but right here in the second quarter, I don't like the body language. If I'm Stan Van Gundy, my team is only shooting 44%. We've missed 11 free throws, and we've only made three-pointers and shooting 27% from three-pointers, and we're only down 5 points. He's got to be encouraged.
45 seconds to play in the first half. The Magic have been a very resilient team throughout the regular season and certainly in the postseason. Here's Lewis banking it home. So Rashard Lewis, with his third field goal, he has 8 points in all. Cavaliers up by 4. There's a 7-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Here's James to the left hand, and he's off. Final seconds of the half. The Magic holding for a last shot. And here it is by Lewis for 3. It's a 1-point game. How about that finish by the Magic?
At the half, the score, your Cavaliers 56.
Well, nice ball movement here. Rashard Lewis knocking down a 3. Even probably could have pump faked and got an even closer shot, but Wally Szczerbiak just a little bit late on rotating out. And Stan Van Gundy and the Magic down by 1 after being down by 22 in the first quarter.
Well, I'm wondering if we'll see more of LeBron James at the offensive end in the second half. He did distribute the ball. He has 16 points, 8 of 9 at the line, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. But, well, I think Craig Sager can pose that question. He's with LeBron.
Well, thanks, Marv. LeBron, you did say you wanted to take a back seat at the game at the start. It's easier when your teammates get involved. A 22-point lead was impressive, but it's down to 1. What happened?
They started to get some good looks. You know, we gave them a lot of second chance points. Dwight got a couple and ones. It's something we got to key on the second half to win the ball game.
So what is your strategy personally in the second half? Are you going to have to take over more of an offensive force from the start?
You know, I'm going to take what the defense give me. You know, we all need to be a little bit more aggressive and, you know, do a little bit better job in the better second half.
Thanks a lot. 22-point lead at 1 point. It's now down to just 1. And we'll be back with the T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie, Kenny, and Charles from the Q in Cleveland.
Reggie Miller for Doug Collins. Craig Sager working the sideline. It was once a 22-point advantage for the Cavaliers. And the Orlando Magic came roaring back. 1-point game here as we head to the second half. And Orlando led in the second quarter by the combination of the front court. But Hedo Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis really picked things up.
Well, just like in games 1 and 2 here, get down early. But now Hedo Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis starting their magic act just a little bit early. In games 1 and 2, they started it in the fourth quarter, and Turkoglu taking the ball off the dribble against Wally Szczerbiak. He has the mismatch. And pick and pop, you think he's going to knock down a 3, but Rashard takes it off the dribble and swing the basketball around the floor, and you're going to get a wide open shot for Rashard Lewis. And if I'm Mike Brown, I need answers. Why can't we hold leads here? You see the second quarter outscored 37-21. If you look at the stat sheet, we shoot 54% from the field, 66 from three-pointers. We out-rebound them, but 8 turnovers for 16 points was what did the Cavaliers in that first half.
All right, a look at the Dos Equis game summary. Orlando, after the poor start, ends up at 47% shooting, 20 of 43. You mentioned a 54% for the Cavaliers. The Magic not doing it with the three-point shot. to this point. Second chance points look pretty good, 12-5. Over the first 10 minutes, Cleveland led 34-12. The last 14 minutes, Orlando outscoring the Cavaliers 43-22 to cut that deficit down to 1. As the third quarter gets underway, let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Mark, the same starting five that started the game for Mike Brown. He said, however, he will mix and match early. Look for the small ball. He said LeBron James will go down to that 4 position. He was 4 for 10 in that first half, but only 1 for 3 in the paint. The others were all from the perimeter. They will post him up. They'll try to pick up the pace, and they'll move him down low.
All right, Craig, Cavaliers opened the game hitting 10 of their first 11. They were led by Mo Williams, missing on that shot. And last touch by Anderson Varejao. But Williams with 17 points. He's the high man for the Cavs. James with 16. Dwight Howard leading Orlando, 14 points. Rafer Alston, Courtney Lee at the guards. Howard up front with Turkoglu and Lewis. Here's Howard. Beautiful move. Made the turn on Ilgauskas, and it's a 1-point Orlando lead.
And there's no ways that Drunas can guard him. Dwight Howard is just too quick, especially on that baseline as Rashard Lewis comes up with the steal.
It's the first lead for the Magic since it was 3-2 in the opening minutes, and they add to that lead as Turkoglu hits a 3. Mike Brown calls for time just a minute and 15 into the third quarter.
Well, the third quarter has always been the Magic quarter throughout this series, and Turkoglu on the break sees that Zadrunas has guarded him. Let me just step back and knock down the 3. And look at this move by Superman. Goes baseline, no help, with a nice finish.
All right, Reggie, let's take a look at the action cam presented by Transformers Revenge of the Fallen in theaters June 24.
And take a look at what Zadrunas Ilgauskas is looking at when he's going against Dwight Howard. He's expecting help to come either from the middle or from the baseline. He sends him baseline. Anderson Varejao has to come over early. And if he gets baseline, either foul Dwight Howard and put him on the line, but you can't allow him to get an easy avenue into the lane for the finish.
And those of you who have been watching this series are well aware that the Magic have had their way in the third quarter over the first 4 games decisively in game 1, but they have taken over games in the third quarter, and they open up in that style here, leading to the early timeout taken by the Cavs. West lost it. Here comes Alston. Lee with the open jumper. This crowd went dead just prior to that timeout. They try to rev things up.
This is when LeBron James, the MVP of the league, needs to take over the ball game. He's deferred long enough. Now it's time for the King to take his court as the Magic come up with yet another steal.
Here's Alston kicking it out, and it's picked off by Williams. 7-0 run here by Orlando to open up this third quarter. Here's James getting inside and missed the layup. He thought he was fouled. We've talked about the Orlando Magic being a very resilient team, winning closeout games on the road twice during this postseason. Turkoglu adds to the lead, 64-56. They won in Philly in a game 6. They won in Boston in a game 6, and trying to go for the hat trick here tonight as Williams was sent flying, was looking for the foul. Shot clock at 5. West, yes. Delonte West has played well. That's 11 points along with 3 assists.
He has the advantage against Rafer Alston, especially on the post, with Mike Brown to try to post Delonte West up a little bit more in the second half.
Now Varejao switches off to Turkoglu. Turkoglu with the shot. James ran into Lee. Orlando trying to wrap things up here in game 5. Cavaliers looking to send it to a game 6 in Orlando. Shot clock to 2. Williams from downtown. For Mo Williams. Williams, his 5th from three-point land. He's 5 of 6 from that three-point line.
That's the first time in this series, other than LeBron James, a Cavalier player has scored 20 in this series.
And that not a good stat from the Cav point of view. Kept alive by Turkoglu and then deflected out, last touched by the Cavaliers.
This is pretty good defense by the Magic at the other end. Shot clock running down. You see the up and under fake. Step back three for Mo Williams for his 20th point. First time in this series he has reached that mark.
It's an Orlando team that went 59-23 in the regular season. And then in the playoffs beat the Sixers, beat the Celtics. James with the steal and a foul. Alston reaching in as James is being chased by Lee. And apparently they're calling it a clear path foul. So LeBron will go to the line. It's called on Alston. That is his second. And the Cavaliers will also have possession. 2 shots for James. He's now 9 of 10 at the line.
Well, here's the question. Was Rafer Alston in front of LeBron James? It kind of looked like he was right there. I don't know if that was a clear path. Maybe from the side as the bad pass by Rafer Alston, but he's definitely in front of LeBron James. I don't understand why that was a clear path.
Yes, usually you look for a player being chased down and it's fouled from behind. So it's a 1-point game. The crowd getting back into it. Magic with a 64-63 lead. Cavaliers have answered a 7-0 run with a 7-0 spurt of their own. Here's West for 3. Rebounded by Turkoglu. Lee from downtown. So that is three-pointer number 6 for the Magic. Now 6 of 14.
Early offense for the Magic. Get the ball down early.
A bad pass by James. Magic not able to take advantage. They give it right back on the turnover.
And you can't give up careless turnovers, especially on the road when you're coming up with steals yourself. Ball management.
Cleveland 66-16 of the regular season. Best record in the NBA. And it's whipped through the first 2 rounds against Detroit and Atlanta. That will count. And the foul. Ilgauskas was trying to get it near the rim as he was hit. And he will go to the line. It's a reach-in called on Alston.
Well, nice little pick and pop here was Zadrunas, and he was taking the ball to the basket, and Rafer just a little bit late and rotating back. Gets his hand across the arm of Zadrunas as he uses the glass. Goes to the line to try to make the N1.
Ilgauskas with his first free throw of the night. He's 5 for 5 from the field, 11 points, 67-66. Orlando. Second team foul committed by the Magic. Alston for 3. He had the touch in game 4, has not to this point tonight. Here is James. Yes! That's a 2. And Cleveland is back on top. Turkoglu steps back for a 3. Farajao rebound. Ilgauskas off the nice lead pass from West and a foul. It is on Lewis. So that's 3 on Rashard Lewis.
And now the Cavaliers are starting to get their energy up. Started this third quarter giving up a wide open 3. 2 wide open 3s, and now they're starting to get their energy and get some early offense going themselves.
Cavaliers with a 12-3 run after trailing by 8, with the Magic surging at the start of the third quarter. Ilgauskas, yes. Make it 6 of 6 from the field. for Ilgauskas and a 3-point advantage for the Cavaliers.
Well, now it's time to go into Dwight Howard. Try and put some pressure on Ilgauskas.
Howard has not seen the ball much here in the third. And he does put the pressure on, but he's called for steps. Traveling violation, and the ball back to Cleveland. James on a catch and shoot. Rebounded by Howard. Lewis. Back comes James. Puts moves on Turkoglu, and he's fouled. Somehow he got it off. That would have counted.
And Charles Barkley wanted the Cavaliers to play fast, and that's exactly what LeBron James is trying to do here. The Magic come down and put up a quick shot, and LeBron James gets the rebound as a one-man fast break. Try to get some easy ones. How are you going to stop that in the open court? There's just no way.
And that is team foul number 4 on the Magic. Cavaliers do not have any. And we have 5 minutes, 16 seconds to play here in the third. Well, you can vote for which player you want to watch. Get enhanced coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals on TNT Overtime Extra, presented by Axe, only on NBA.com. Marv Albert with Reggie Miller sitting in for Doug Collins. As we mentioned earlier, Doug is back home in Phoenix to be with his wife, Kathy. She was hospitalized due to a rapid heartbeat. And we're told that she did undergo tests. Things looking pretty good, although there will be more tests. And again, our thoughts go out to Kathy and Doug. Cleveland up by 3. LeBron James now 10 of 13 at the line. Anthony Johnson has come out playing the point. When he entered back in the first half, seemed to settle the team down. Here's Turkoglu getting in close.
Hedo Turkoglu.
So that's 18 points on 8 of 14 shooting. West. That was a 2-point attempt. Took the high hop and rebounded by Howard. It's a 1-point Cavalier lead. 4.5 to play here in the third. The season's on the line here for the Cavs. Foul is called a hard hit by Varejao after the initial foul was called.
The foul was on LeBron James with the hole trying to get around Dwight Howard, but Varejao coming over late with the hard foul. And as this series has gone on, we've seen this more and more with Varejao baiting and baiting and baiting Dwight Howard, who has 5 technical fouls. Had one rescinded, had his 6th in Orlando that was rescinded back down to 5. So it's going on and on, the little chippiness.
And the key factor there, if you pick up 7, it leads to an automatic suspension of 1 game in the postseason. Good play by Williams to slap it away, but a foul is called. It is on Mo Williams. So Williams trying to help out. In doing so, commits his 3rd.
And this is why you love playoff basketball. Look at the physical nature down low as Mo Williams tries to come down. What was Mike Brown saying? Wrap him up, slap him on his arms, slap him on his hands, send him to the free throw line tonight. Dwight Howard, 4 of 9. The Magic, 11 of 22. Only 50% from the free throw line, and they're down 1.
And Orlando, with much success in recent years against the Cavaliers in this series, they've taken 3 of 4. They've won 5 of 7 overall meetings this season because they took 2 of 3 in the season series, and they have won 11 of the last 15. Cleveland also suffered its worst loss of the season against the Magic. 29-point pounding back in early April. In fact, the Magic led by as many as 41. So you talk to Magic players, and they're pretty confident when they go up against the Cavaliers, despite the fact that Cleveland did win 66 games. And Reggie, Orlando has played its best. Oh, he got the high hop off the glass. Orlando's played its best basketball against the NBA's best teams. The Magic beat the Lakers, they've beaten the Cavs, they've beaten the Celtics, and the Spurs, the league's 4 other best clubs, and they beat each team twice, which is very impressive. Just under 4 left in the third. Orlando with a 1-point lead. Michael Petras is back in, defending on James. Ilgauskas with his first miss of the night.
Well, interesting move by Stan Van Gundy. Michael Petras comes in for Hedo Turkoglu, who had 7 points already in this third quarter. That's going to be 4 minutes of rest for Hedo Turkoglu, getting ready for the fourth quarter.
Ball was slapped away and deflected out by Orlando.
And that's Courtney Lee's fault right there, because Rashard Lewis was expecting him to be in the short corner 3 right there. That's a play that you automatically assume someone is going to be there, and that's why the no-look pass was there to the corner.
Varejao comes out to set the screen. Williams came up short, rebounded by Varejao. Lewis not allowing the shot from Ilgauskas. Good defense here by the Magic. Ilgauskas on the move and fouled by Howard. That's his third.
That was a nice fake give and go by Zydrunas Ilgauskas to Mo Williams. Both players jumped to Mo, and watch a 7'3" guy try to put the ball on the floor right there and make a play. Dwight Howard could do nothing but foul as he rotated over.
Ilgauskas 80% at the line during the regular season. The Magic over the foul limit. They have 5 players with 3 fouls apiece.
Well, you're wondering about the matchups with Hedo Turkoglu going to the bench for the Magic. Remember in Game 4, LeBron James played the whole second half and overtime, 49 minutes in total. When is Mike Brown going to be able to rest LeBron James in this second half?
He sat him out for a while in the second quarter, although LeBron did start the quarter. And the Magic made their move. Ilgauskas connects on 1 of 2, so the game is tied at 71. Cleveland is led by as many as 22 as they got in front early, hit 10 of their first 11 shots. But Orlando working its way back in. They've led by as many as 8. Here's Lewis for 3.
2 wide open threes in this quarter that Rashard Lewis, the start of the third quarter, and right there that he's been wide open and hasn't been able to knock down.
Ilgauskas from the elbow and handled by Howard.
These are all jump shots from your 7'3" center.
Lee backs it up. Howard making contact with Varejao. Cavaliers wanted a foul call. Well, Varejao, a guy who puts a little extra into those trips to the floor. The Cleveland bench upset.
Right here, look at the move here by Dwight Howard and the acting by Anderson Varejao. And during the regular season, possibly that's a foul, but in the playoffs, that's not going to happen. As Mo Williams has blood on his wrist.
Athletic trainer Max Benton taking care of that left wrist of Mo Williams. And remember, a couple of games back, Stan Van Gundy referring to the flopping tactics of Anderson Varejao and Ben Wallace.
Well, I know one guy in the green room, because I've been there for the first 4 games, that does not like the flopping of Anderson Varejao, and that would be our Sir Charles Barkley. He thinks every play out there, Varejao is flopping all over the place, and I was telling him, you can't be mad at Anderson Varejao. That's his game. Just like some guys are great shooters, some guys are great passers. That's Anderson Varejao's game, is to get underneath the skin of the other opposing big men, and if that's his game, is to flop and draw charges and get guys in technical fouls, so be it.
Reggie, one of those guys, if he's your teammate, you say, hey, that's a good move. As Mo Williams headed back to the locker room, and cameras get off Mo as he undresses himself.
This is a family show.
Yes, what's going on here? But if Varejao is on the opposing team, you're not a fan. That's usually what occurs.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Bill Laimbeer. Everyone hated Bill Laimbeer, but if you ask Rick Mahorn and Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, one of the best teammates, because those are the guys that did the dirty work.
All right, Ben Wallace checks back in. Wally Szczerbiak coming on for Mo Williams. 2 minutes, 8 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. And the Magic up by 2.
Well, that's 2 minutes of rest for Hedo Turkoglu as he comes back in for Courtney Lee. And I like how Stan Van Gundy is rationing the minutes and the time for his big stars so they're fresh going down the stretch in the fourth quarter.
James sets it up for Varejao. That counts in the foul. So Varejao will head to the line. It is number 4 on Dwight Howard. Timeout taken, just under 2 to go. In the third, we'll be back to Cleveland in a moment. You are looking at Wall Street Plaza in Orlando. Reggie, I'm told it is the site of the official viewing party for Magic fans. An enthusiastic group. They've seen their Magic come from 22 down. Another comeback here by Orlando, and the game is tied at 73 as we take a look at the Magic Touch presented by Nikon Cool Pix S230.
Well, Andre Iguodala in that first game with that step back 3 was a heartbreaker. We did that Big Baby Davis game when he hit the shot at the buzzer. There's been a lot of heartbreak, but there's been a lot of triumph for the Magic as well. They've been very resilient in this postseason, winning big games. And I just remember Stan Van Gundy saying, we've been in this position before, and the Cavs haven't. So this is something that, as this fourth quarter goes, it's a tie ball game with Anderson Varejao going to the line. Let's see if this team has enough in the tank to finish it.
There's some bizarre numbers when you look at what the Magic have done in the postseason. Over the first 2 games, they had the lead for only 8 minutes and 16 seconds, and they were just 1 second away from taking a 2-0 lead on the Cavs' home court. The Magic have also lost 6 times overall in the postseason. 4 of the losses the result of buzzer beaters. Here's Turkoglu. Tried to pull up and was hit, blocked by Varejao.
Well, I want to say this right now. The Magic look fresher. They look fresher, and this is a team that's played more games during the postseason than the Cavaliers. And right now, it looks almost like they're a half a step to a step quicker than the Cavs right now.
And shooting 2 shots for Orlando.
So Hedo Turkoglu will shoot 2. We talked earlier about how successful he has been on the road in this 2009 postseason. At home, averaging 12.5 a game. Road better than 16, shooting 50%. See the difference from the 3-point line.
Remember that big game 7 that we did in Boston when he had struggled all the way up to that point? He was the guy that set the tempo, 8 of 12 from the field, 25 points, but really controlled the tempo for 48 minutes for the Magic.
And he's been missed the fourth quarter. He's come up with a number of key shots down the stretch. Here is Szczerbiak. Rebounded by Turkoglu. Marcin Gortat is back in, replacing Dwight Howard. Picked up a 4th foul. There's a foul on Szczerbiak. It is a push.
Fouls on the Cavaliers, number 10, Wally Szczerbiak. His first personal penalty situation.
So this third quarter is winding down. The Magic up 75-73. Cavaliers now over the foul limit. And Rashard Lewis to the line. Only 2 of 4 at the free throw stripe. A programming reminder, TNT this July from executive producer Jerry Bruckheimer as an undercover cop in LA. How far can you go without going over? You don't have to answer that, Reggie. It's a rhetorical question. Don't miss the new series premiere of Dark Blue this July only on TNT.
And the Magic now are up to shooting 47% from the field, only 60 from the line as Rashard Lewis knocks down both free throws as the Magic take a 4-point lead.
We've had several swings in this third quarter. Orlando coming from behind, taking an 8-point lead at one stretch. Delonte West brings Orlando within 2. Nice run by Cleveland to recapture the lead. But they now trail by 2. Playing for the season right here. Trailing 3 games to 1 as Turkoglu is able to drill it. Orlando looking to wrap things up and head to the finals for the first time since 1995. Cavaliers hoping to continue the series in Orlando on Saturday night. Here's James kicking it back out. Gibson open for three. Daniel Gibson, who hit 2 from downtown the other night in Orlando, has brought the Cavs within 1 with a half-minute left in this third quarter. Johnson trying to use the pick, has Gortat. Now the Cavs can hold for a final shot of the third. They're on their feet here at the cue. 10 seconds to go in the third. Cavaliers spread it out. James goes at Turkoglu and kicks it out. Serbiak for 3. And that is the end of the third quarter. The Magic with a 79-78 lead. As we take a break, stay tuned for world premiere footage from Modern Warfare 2 coming November 10th.
Welcome back to Cleveland. The Cavs trailing by 1 as we go into the fourth quarter with head coach Mike Brown. You told us early today that you needed somebody, an unexpected person to come up big. Just got a nice 3 from Daniel Gibson. Is he the one you need to come up big in the fourth quarter?
Anybody. That was a nice shot by Daniel. We got to keep driving and kicking the basketball. And when that ball gets to you, look to shoot it or drive it to put pressure on Orlando's defense like they're going on.
Reggie Miller said that he thought Orlando looked quicker in that third quarter. You had a rest for LeBron James in the second quarter. Does he have to go the rest of the way?
He may. We're talking about it right now. Right now we're fighting for our playoff lives, and so if we feel we need to run them, we'll run them.
All right, thank you very much. Go back tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Craig. LeBron has played 34 out of a possible 36 minutes. And Reggie, would you say that he has to take over the offense, although at times that does not work for the Cavaliers because it can be a ball-stopping situation, but the season is on the line right here. It's a one-point game. James being played by Petrus, gets it into the corner for the 3, and again it's Mo Williams. Mo Williams with 22.6 of 7 from downtown.
Well, you're talking about what does LeBron James has to do. He has to be the best player on the floor. I don't know if that's going to be scoring, but assisting, but he's 1 assist shy of a triple-double right now. He has to be the best player.
Shot clock to 5. Down to 3. Oh, good play by Gibson. The block shot by Gibson. It's a 24-second violation.
Maybe this is that defense Mike Brown has been waiting to see in this series come alive. Daniel Gibson does a good job on the ball guarding Anthony Johnson. A 24-second violation.
Gibson sets the pick. Turkoglu switches off to James. Williams played by Johnson. Shot clock to 6. Here's LeBron. Is not shot well. It's run down by Johnson. James now 5 of 14 from the field. Petrus is fouled. A blocking foul on James. That's his 3rd personal. The keys for the Magic in the third quarter. Hedo Turkoglu, 11 of his 22 in the third. Dwight Howard, a solid game, although he picked up a 4th foul. 20 points, 9 rebounds. Rashard Lewis, 4 of 12, 13 points. And the high men for the Cavaliers, Mo Williams, 22 points, and LeBron James with 20. Ilgauskas has shot the ball well. He has 14, and Delonte West with 13. Petrus missing on his first free throw attempt. The Cavaliers up by 1.
Cavaliers have missed 12 free throws tonight.
There's Williams putting a move on Gortat. Gets it back out to James. James rejected by Gortat. Wallace on the On the rebound, basket won't count, but he was fouled. Non-shooting foul. And the foul on Turkoglu, that is his fourth.
Todd, who's played well this series in spurts. When Dwight Howard has picked up foul trouble, coming over with a nice block.
Minute and a half gone by here in the fourth. Here's Gibson. Yes, that's a three. Well, Craig Sager asked Mike Brown, will it be Daniel Gibson as the so-called X Factor, and he has been coming through. That's his second from downtown. Cavaliers lead it 84-80. LeBron James now with a triple-double off that assist. Fourth career triple-double in postseason action off the steal. Here comes West. Turkoglu had a step away. James with the rebound. Turkoglu did not want to pick up a fifth. James flips it up as he draws the foul. So West had the opportunity as Turkoglu did not want to cause any contact and collect his fifth foul.
It's a wise move there by Turkoglu to move away from the contact, but LeBron James does a good job of getting him in the air, getting the foul, as to the delight of Jay-Z.
James now 11 of 14 at the line.
Well, how long does Stan Van Gundy keep Dwight Howard on the bench with 4 fouls? You have a shot of winning this game and closing out this series.
Now the Magic take a timeout. This crowd very much back into it. They are on their feet. We are early fourth. Cavaliers try to stay alive, looking to make their return to Orlando for a game number 6 on Saturday night. The Magic try to wrap things up and make it to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1995.
Welcome back to Cleveland, where the Cavs, facing possible elimination, lead by 6. Recently, NBA Coach of the Year Mike Brown of the Cavs spoke to a group of young people about the importance of education and teamwork. As part of the NBA Coaches for the Kids program, an initiative launched this season by the NBA Coaches Association. The program works in relationship with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and all NBA teams to allow more than 30,000 kids to attend NBA games each season. The NBA, where caring happens. Marv?
Thank you, Craig. 9:46 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Cavaliers back on top by 6.
And the three-point shooting has been the difference tonight coming into this series. The Magic 43% from three-point and averaging 31 points tonight, only 6 of 17. But how about the Cavs? 8 of 12 from long distance, 66%.
Dwight Howard back on the floor, trying to put a move on Ben Wallace. Howard getting inside. Nicely done by Howard.
Well, I like Stan Van Gundy going back to his big workhorse down low. Especially he's going to command a double team with no Zydrunas Ilgauskas on the floor.
22 points, 9 rebounds for Howard, but he's playing with 4 fouls. Mo Williams has had the hot hand, 6 3-pointers. Shot clock to 5. Here's Gibson for 3. Rebounded by Wallace. West from downtown. And Johnson able to pull it down.
Cavs have had some looks.
Well, Petrus with a look and knocks down a 3.
Seems like every time the Cavaliers are getting ready to pull away, the Magic go into their hat and pull out a rabbit.
The Cavaliers call for time. Michael Petrus has just killed the Cavaliers throughout this series. Been quiet thus far tonight, but that brings the Magic within 1.
Well, welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena with the Cavs up 1 and Dwight Howard being inserted back into the lineup in the fourth quarter, and Mike Brown trying to get his big guys to do what he didn't do in fourth quarter and overtime of game 4, trying to wrap up Dwight Howard. And you see Ben Wallace trying to grab him, too big, too strong, and here the offensive rebound, and too quick going around Zydrunas Ilgauskas. He only has 9 rebounds, 3 offensive. But Dwight Howard trying to make his presence known in this fourth quarter.
And Ben Wallace certainly with fouls to give. Cleveland with just one team foul. Orlando has 2. It's a 1-point Cavalier lead, with Michael Petrus knocking down that 3 just a moment ago. 8.5 to play here in the fourth. James goes at Petrus. James with a nice move.
Well, if you're Michael Petrus, you can't reach, because if you reach and don't get your hand on the ball, you're going to be out of position. And right there, LeBron James with the easy lay-in.
Orlando now down by 3. They've come back from a 22-point deficit. Johnson, 4-3. James with the rebound.
This fourth quarter, you're going to see a lot of high pick and roll with Hedo Turkoglu and Dwight Howard, to put Ilgauskas in a jam. How are they going to rotate?
LeBron backing up on Lewis, goes right at him, cutting left, and came up short. All right, here's Turkoglu. Johnson. Howard. Foul. Hit on a reach-in by Ilgauskas. And that is number 4 on Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
That's the right move right there. Dwight Howard only 6 of 11, shooting 71% coming into this, but only 60% on the regular season from the free throw line.
Well, national coverage of the NBA playoffs continues tomorrow on ESPN. Game 6 between the Lakers and the Nuggets. Lakers winning at home last night and take a 3-2 lead. Coverage starts 8 o'clock Eastern time. And if the Cavaliers do win tonight, we'll be with you in Orlando on Saturday, right here on TNT. Game 6 of the Cavs and the Magic starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And Sunday on ABC, if necessary, Game 7 between Denver and LA, starting at 8 o'clock in the East. Well, Howard knocks down both free throws. The Cavalier lead is down to 1. Williams and now Gibson at the guards, with James, Ilgauskas, and Wallace on the front line. Games played by Petrus. Shot clock to 5. LeBron is fouled. And for Petrus, that's number 4.
Michael Petrus did a good job of guarding LeBron on this whole play, and could have forced LeBron into a tough shot right here. Right here, you have your arm reach, you move your feet. And right here, all you need to do is contest. It was going to be a tough shot, but you got into his body a little bit, and Danny Crawford with the call. You move your feet, that's good D, and you see as he goes up under, you hit him right on the elbow. Good call by Danny Crawford.
So James now 13 of 16 at the line. Cleveland by 2. 5 minutes gone by in the fourth. Marv Albert, Reggie Miller for Doug Collins tonight. Craig Sager working the sideline. And that is a touch foul called on Ilgauskas for his 5th.
You just can't shove a guy. I mean, this is an easy call, and it's done right in front of the official. I mean, that's an easy call.
Checking in replacing Z, number 7.
Ilgauskas takes a seat. There's Anderson Varejao, Mo Williams checking back in. 13 foul on the Cavaliers. Magic also with 3. Rafer Alston back on the floor for Orlando. Petrus for 3 on a step back. What a shot by Michael Petrus. Orlando back on top by 1.
Magic, they are going to live and die from beyond that arc.
And for the most part this series, they have lived. Got off to a slow start from downtown. Now 8 of 20. Shot clock to 5. James for 3. Way off. Rebounded by Lewis. Pass intended for Petrus, broken up by Williams. Good play because Petrus was ahead of the field. Williams for 3. That is short. Williams trying to save it, and what a play as he deflects it off Alston. It'll be Cleveland ball.
You're struggling like Mo Williams has all series. You need emotional plays. And here's a quick shot by Mo Williams. The ball looks like it's going out of bounds. Rafer is trying to shield Mo from getting it, and you just jump over. You know he used to make a lot of plays like this. It's Dennis Rodman when he was falling out of bounds, and he would jump on the back of the offensive player and kick it off of them. And nice save there for another possession for the Cavaliers.
And now Mark Davis walks over to the scorer's table to take a second off the shot clock. So they have 23 on the 24-second clock. We're halfway through the fourth quarter. Cavaliers down by 1. Here's James. Yes! And a count. LeBron James will go to the line.
And see what that extra hustle and possession pays off right here. LeBron James gets into the lane. There's the foul by Dwight Howard to pick up his 5th. And you're going to have to rotate over. This game comes down to all about possessions. Think about in game 4, if Delonte West would have came up with that possession as it was going out. Little things. One of those possessions that could come back to haunt the Magic.
So Cleveland up by 2. Dwight Howard remaining on the floor with the 5 fouls. LeBron with 8 points the last 4 minutes. Here's Hedo Turkoglu. And that three-point shot ends up out of bounds. The season is on the line for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team with the best record in the NBA. After sweeping through Detroit and Atlanta, here's James, got the step. Rebounded by Alston.
Mike Brown going to the 1-4, almost like Boston and Paul Pierce putting him at the free throw line so he can see the defenders coming.
Alston turns, shoots the 3. And away for Alston. Just 1 of 9 here tonight after the 26-point playoff career high in game 4.
2 bad possessions by the Magic, just jacking up 3.
James has Alston on, and the crowd looking for LeBron to go right at him. Spins his way and scores. Got the hop. 94-90 Cleveland. Just under 5 left in the 4th, and a foul on West in the act. And the question is, was it 3-point territory?
Well, he's got a little man on you, and Rafer Alston, and LeBron James does the right thing. Back him down and just shoot over. Gets the kind bounce on the rim, and Hedo Turkoglu. Look at Delonte West's hands right there. It's outstretched through the body, just rip right through it. 3 shots from the free throw line for Hedo Turkoglu.
Yeah, clearly a 3-point attempt. Turkoglu now 3 of 5 at the line, 81% free throw shooter during the regular season. LeBron James with 30 already has a triple-double. He has scored the last 10 points for the Cavaliers.
So we've seen the ball movement now in this 4th quarter somewhat come to a halt for the Cavaliers. It looks like Mike Brown is going to put all his eggs in one basket at number 23 by just basically getting him the basketball at the top of the key and letting him go one-on-one.
I don't think you have a choice. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, I like it if Boobie Gibson and Wally Szczerbiak are knocking down threes as well as Mo Williams. But if they're not, you're basically playing 1-on-5.
But you have to trust that LeBron will give the ball up, particularly with Williams hitting his shots. This time LeBron on a spin goes 1-on-2. Try to get it to Varejao. Now here's Gibson for 3. Yes! This a flashback to Daniel Gibson's rookie season when he came up big in the Eastern Conference Final against the Pistons. That's his 3rd three-pointer. And the Cavaliers lead 97-93. Here's Turkoglu, rejected by Varejao. Down to 4 minutes remaining in the 4th. Cavaliers with a 97-93 lead. Williams for three. The rebound is tipped to the corner and carries out of bounds. Last touch by the Magic.
I think the Magic have rushed their offense as well, and LeBron James looking a little gassed and tired out here. And this is a quick shot by Mo Williams. Both teams settling for threes here in this fourth quarter.
LeBron coming off an exhausting game 4 in Orlando the other night.
Same play.
James played by Beatrice. They clear out the lane. And here is LeBron. Yes. Timeout, Orlando. 6-point Cavalier lead with 3:33 to play in the fourth.
Well, Beatrice, who has played LeBron great all series, you've got to crowd him. You got to make him put the ball on the floor and trust your health.
Come on now, come on now. Hey, we've been behind more than this. Let's go get this. Come on. It's got to be everything you've got. Come on.
Well, Stan referring to the fact that his team has been down by 16 game 1. They came back, they won. They were down by 23 in game 2. They came back, but lost on that incredible shot by LeBron James. And tonight, 22 down. They've come back. They've led by as many as 8. But right here, the Cavaliers have a 6-point lead with 3:33 to play in the fourth. How about LeBron James, Reggie? In the fourth quarter, he has had a hand in all 21 Cleveland points. He scored 12, and he has 3 assists, which led to 3-pointers, 2 by Gibson and 1 by Williams.
Well, we said he had to be the best player on the floor, and so far he's showing that.
And now he is defending on Turkoglu. Howard played by Varejao. They try to swing it. Here's Petrus. That 3-pointer fell short. Coming up on 3 minutes to play here in the fourth. The Cavaliers try to keep the season alive. An exhausted LeBron James staring at Michael Petrus.
Well, he can't settle for a jump shot right here. Put the pressure on Petrus.
Oh, he swung away and found Varejao. Blew the stop, but James with the rebound. What a play by LeBron James, but Varejao not able to put it down. They have another possession using the clock here. Down to 2.5 remaining in the fourth. James says, no, I'll take it. 2 on the 24. James to the rim. Yes, and the foul. What a spectacular move. Dwight Howard has fouled out in the process.
We talked about LeBron James being the best player on the floor in the fourth quarter. Right here, willing his team, taking the ball straight to the chest of the defensive player of the year in Dwight Howard. And this is the reaction. Now you've gotten the fans back into the game. Alex liking it. Mario Rivera liking it. Ben Roethlisberger liking it.
So Dwight Howard departs with 24 points, 10 rebounds. And LeBron James will go to the line. He's given the Cavaliers an 8-point lead. 2 minutes, 22 seconds to play in this fourth quarter. The stat line on James, 34 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. Another magnificent performance.
And 15 of 19 from the free throw line. 19 free throws so far in this game.
Turkoglu using the screen, can't find a 3. There's Beatrice going at Varejao, and will count on the foul. It's a block on Varejao.
Foul on the Cavaliers, number 17.
Michael Petrus Trying to make something happen, not settling for that three-point shot. And this is a close call by Varejao. He thought he had moved his feet, but he's still moving a little bit.
That's number 5 on Varejao. Beatrice with 12 points, 9 have come here in the fourth. Completes the three-point play. We're approaching 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Cavalier lead is 6.
2 minutes to play the fourth quarter.
So LeBron checking the shot clock. Mo Williams tried to set the screen, could not. Shot clock to 5. Step back and hits. It is just amazing what he is doing.
Well, what that play allows him to do is rest as well, because he's letting the shot clock run down, but he's still just taking a jump shot.
Here's Alston for 3. Rebounded by Serbiak. 1:25 remaining on the fourth. 8-point Cavalier lead. This has become a game of horse. LeBron James against Michael Beatrice. What a pass. Varejao with the reverse. It counts, and the foul.
I'm just wondering, what more can the king do? Finding a cutting Anderson Varejao backdoor. Nice concentration by Varejao as he gets fouled and goes to the line.
3. So Rashard Lewis at the line. They're in the penalty.
A 2-shot foul.
Apparently was off the ball. So it is 1 shot and the ball for Lewis.
Away from the play foul.
Now being explained on the public address, it's an away from the play foul. And Lewis will have 1 shot and possession. Rashard Lewis struggling at the line, just 4 of 7. And now the Magic will put it in play. And that was not something Serbiak was trying to do.
Rashard Lewis had 11 points at halftime, only 2 in this second half.
And here's Lewis, and he's bottled up and fouled by Varejao. That is number 6 on Varejao. So for the second straight game, he is fouled out.
The 6th personal.
A minute 2 to go in this fourth quarter. The ovation is for Varejao, who played very well. 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, kept the ball alive on a number of occasions.
Mike Brown, remember when he was telling Ben Wallace, foul everyone, put Dwight Howard, put Rashard Lewis, wrap people up. We have enough bigs, and Sabonis fouls out, Anderson Varejao fouls out, and you come back with Ben Wallace.
Magic, as you see, 1 timeout remaining. The Cavaliers have a full and 2 20s.
Rashard Lewis will shoot 2 shots.
So now 2 shots for Lewis, who has had an outstanding postseason, but an off game here tonight. Just 4 of 12 from the field. He has 14 points. Now here is Ilgauskas coming out for Serbiak.
What's missing tonight, Ray, for Alston, that 26 points he had in game 4 tonight. Only 1 of 10, 3 points.
They actually opened the scoring for Orlando with a 3-point shot.
At the top of the circle at the 3-point line and let him go one-on-one with my shooters down in the short corner. If they come to double, trust in your teammates to knock down the shot. If not, let him make the play.
Coming up in a few moments, the award-winning Inside the NBA with Ernie, Charles, and Kenny. We are live right here in Cleveland. 1 minute to go in this fourth quarter. Unless there is a dramatic finish, which we have seen on a number of occasions in this series and the previous series involving the Magic. This series headed to a Game 6 in Orlando on Saturday night, with the Cavaliers staying alive. Here's Turkoglu. And a foul is called. The Cavaliers do not want to commit a foul in this scenario.
The Cavaliers, number 11.
And Mike Brown is very upset as Ilgauskas picks it up, and he is fouled out. Reggie, let's go back to some of the keys that you set up right at the start of the telecast.
Well, it was all about inside versus out. The Cavs, a +8 with points in the paint. The X factors, we talked about Rafer Alston, 26 points in Game 4, only 3 points tonight. And how about the two stars, LeBron James and Dwight Howard? LeBron, everything in this fourth quarter, had to be the best player, and it was win or stay home. It stays like this, it looks like we're going for Game 6 in Orlando, and that's exactly what the Cavaliers had to do. Win Game 5 and put all the pressure back on Orlando to close it out on their home court.
And what is so significant about what LeBron James has done here tonight? And I think you'd have to go back to the record books to see if anyone else has ever done this. It's a hard one to check. It'll take a while. I know our staff will get to it for the postgame show. That's putting pressure on. But LeBron has scored or assisted on 32 straight points for Cleveland. And began by assisting on that three-point shot by Gibson that ended the third. A foul is called on Lee. And ended with Varejão's three-point play. Just about a minute ago. Have you ever seen anything like this where a guy just, we talk about players taking over, but this is clearly, as you look at the stat, a guy who just took over a game. 32 straight points he is involved with by either scoring or assisting.
Well, what helps in that is we talk about trusting in your teammates. And when Daniel Gibson and when Mo Williams, when Wally are knocking down threes, it's going to make it tougher because you just simplify the offense. Now, it's going to be a lot of wear and tear on his body because he has to do so much. But those guys have to make down shots to make it effective.
Nice move by Turkoglu on the reverse. 111, 102, half minute remaining. And a timeout is taken by the Cavaliers off the pressure being shown by Orlando. But what LeBron James has done tonight is reminiscent of what he did in Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Final against Detroit a couple of years back, where he scored 29 of the last 30 points. Tonight he's done it with scoring and assists.
To show up, and tonight LeBron James has done that. He got everyone involved early. You see the three-pointer there to Mo Williams. He even got the bench points with Daniel Gibson. And then when it was time to score, backing down the smaller Alston. And what I like here, you're going to go at the land of the Giants. Goes right at the chest of the defensive player of the year, Dwight Howard, picking up his sixth foul, 37 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, doing it all in the fourth quarter to allow the Cavaliers to live one more day in this series.
And tonight, LeBron getting help because there were others contributing. Mo Williams, 6 threes, 23 points. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, 16 points. Delonte West with 13. Daniel Gibson off the bench to hit 3 from downtown. Anderson Varejão, a solid all-around game, 7 points and 8 rebounds. Foul on Alston, putting Williams at the line as the Magic just look to stop the clock with 28 seconds to play.
First time throughout these playoffs that the Magic have scored 100 points and then have not won a ball game during these playoffs.
Back on the floor for Orlando, number 15, Hedo Turkoglu, replacing Courtney Lee.
Ben Wallace makes his return.
Replacing Torrance for your Cavaliers, number 4.
As does Hedo Turkoglu. Cleveland shooting 50% And 9 of 18 from beyond that three-point line. They opened up by hitting 10 of their first 11 shots. They led by as many as 22, but once again the Magic came roaring back in the second quarter. It was a one-point game at halftime. But led by LeBron James in the fourth quarter as Lewis comes up short. And that will wrap it. Led by James, who finishes with a triple-double, 37 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. The Cleveland Cavaliers keep this series alive. They will go to a sixth game in Orlando on Saturday night. And you'll see it exclusively here on TNT starting with the pregame 8 o'clock Eastern time. The Magic now in front of this series, 3 games to 2. And if there's a game 7, it'll be back here in Cleveland on Monday night. And you know that is not what the Magic would like to see, as they hope to wrap it in Orlando in game 6. Let's go to Craig with LeBron James.
Well, LeBron, you said if you could take a back seat early, the game would be easier. Well, you took over the wheel in the fourth quarter. What was it like to be in the driver's seat for either scoring or having an assist on 32 straight points?
Man, this is a big game for us, Craig. You know, you never want to disappoint the home crowd by coming out here and not playing as hard as you can. I mean, as a winner, go home. And there's one thing that we don't want to see right now, and that's seeing Ernie, Charles, and Kenny put on them fishing hats. So we're trying to give it our all.
The fact that your teammates came through early in the game, how much did that help you and give you confidence in the fourth quarter that you could go at the top of the key and throw it to them?
That's huge. That's what we got all year from our complimentary players. Mo came out, man, and was aggressive once again. But today it was a lot of off our bench. Ben Wallace played strong in the post against Dwight. Daniel Gibson came in, gave us some big minutes, some big shots. And the rest of the complimentary guys just came in, did what they had to do, and helped us win the ball game.
You addressed the team before the game. You mentioned history. 8 teams that come back from a 3-1 deficit. You said, let's be number 9. What's it going to take to win the next 2, particularly the next one in Orlando?
We got to play the same way we played today. We got to play gritty. We got to get the ball up the court, play fast. We got to attack. We got to do everything in our will to try to take that game away from them and bring it back here.
So far it's 3-2, but 5 magnificent performances. Congratulations tonight in the triple-double.
Right, thanks, Craig.
Back to you, Mark.
All right, thanks, Craig. Cavaliers ended the game on a 23-12 run over the last 6 minutes. And for Cleveland, it was their 3rd must-win game of the season, of the series, in only 5 games, and they'll face another must-win in Orlando on Saturday.
And now all the pressure shifts to the Magic. You know, Cavaliers did what they had to do and win game 5 because this was tough, but now all the pressure shifts to Orlando. But if they come out and play the same way, they can't get down early. That's the problem. They've got to come out and play them even for 48 minutes.
To see the crowd pour out of the queue, the Quicken Loans Arena here in Cleveland. Again, the final score, Cavaliers 112 and the Magic 102. Once again, the stat line for LeBron James, 37 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, a triple-double. Coming up, following a quick break, we'll be back here in Cleveland for Inside the NBA with Ernie, Charles, and Kenny. For Craig Sager, Reggie Miller, sitting in tonight for Doug Collins. I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Cleveland.